Into the Heights is the must-see musical to watch this summer. Why is that? Let's find out. Into the Heights is a musical following the Latino community in Washington Heights, New York, as we follow Usnavi and several other members of the community dealing with the everyday life, chasing their little dreams, and adjusting to the ever changing neighborhood that is slowly disappearing. Now, before I begin, if you do like what I do on this channel, consider clicking that like button and hitting the subscribe button. We are aiming for 300 by the end of the month, and we're only 11 away. So do be sure to make sure you subscribe so you never miss any more reviews like this one. But without further ado, let's get into this one. Now, first and foremost, it's a musical. So, how is the music? And I will be completely honest here. The music and the story did take a while to really grab me and pull me in. For the first hour or so, I was beginning to wonder maybe this film isn't for me. Maybe I'm just the wrong audience because of the community that is featured within this. But after a certain point, I would say around the time of the song 96,000, I started to get invested. And once I started to get invested, it pulled me all the way in and it took me on one hell of a ride of emotions, of joy and sadness. This is a great cast of characters, and I do have to really shout out a couple of standout performances within this. Leslie Grace and Olga Meredith are by far the two standout performances within this movie, at least for me personally. But I can imagine there are a lot of people that have a lot of different favorites featured within this movie. They have some of the best stories, and the way they perform both in the talking scenes and the musical scenes, which do take up the bulk of the story. Fantastic storytelling, and it was a hell of a joy to watch. It's great to see this community banding together even through the hard times. And every time someone comes out saying things are hopeless, things suck, there is always someone to come in and just basically say, whatever happens, we can deal with it. We are just here to have a good time and chase our small dreams. I do love how the film doesn't sugarcoat the whole chasing your dreams scenario. A lot of movies do the whole thing where if you chase your dreams, you achieve them and it's all sunshine and rainbows the whole way through. This one sells it home to you that there will be a lot of bumps and bruises on the way. And when you achieve your dream, it might not be all that you thought it would be, but it is worth the fight. And that is the big overriding story behind this, and how you shouldn't let the hardships really tear you down. Leslie's character in this, Nina, has quite the arc to go through. I'm kind of sad that they ended up being more of a side character as opposed to a central focus character, but I do enjoy how the film manages to balance out so many different stories. There are five or six different individuals that the film focuses on that all have their own motivations and own dreams, and is executed really well. As a result, however, it does mean it's a very lengthy runtime of just over 2 hours long, which some people might be a bit annoyed by. It can drag at times. Like I say, for the first hour for me, it didn't really grab me, and if I was going to review it, it was probably going to be an okay cup of tea at best because it just wasn't really grabbing me to begin with. But after that certain point, it really does take you on a ride. But let's skip over the story stuff because I really have to talk about the cinematography and the choreography. The way the camera is used to enhance the story and really expand on the choreography we are seeing on screen. There is this fantastic little sequence where a camera is tracking almost like in one shot to tell a passage of time story, and it just works fantastically. There's a gorgeous shot at the end of one particular song down a tunnel that is just eye popping, and there's this other shot of a reflection, like they somehow managed to make it so that a camera can see through a window but also clearly see the reflection. I'm assuming there was an editing trick involved with that, maybe a special effects of mirroring. I'm not 100% sure, but Jesus, this is just such a colourful and joyful movie. Whenever it gets low, it doesn't stay low for too long. There's always something to get things going again in a joyous manner. And if after the last year and a bit we have all had, I feel like we just need a film that's a party, and that's what Into the Heights is. It's about dreamers, but it's also a party and a celebration of culture. I implore anyone watching this review, by the way, to watch any Latina reviewer or any blog or any post by a Latino writer, because I can't do justice to the culture featured. I am not educated in the matter of the cultures featured. I can only comment on what I see in terms of the characters and the movie itself. And it's just one hell of a joy to watch. I will say that the fact it's a musical might detract some people. I'm one of those people where I do enjoy a musical, but I won't go out of my way to watch a musical, if that makes sense. But I know a lot of people just cast ironly don't like musicals. And if you don't like musicals, then you're not going to like this film. So I'd say don't bother with this. But if you're at least tolerable or open to musicals, I would definitely recommend checking this one out. The community that is on display here, how everyone knows each other, how everyone supports each other, and how they visually tell you through the choreography the inner workings of their mind and soul. It is just very well done and definitely worth checking out. Like I said, the only flaws I have is it did take some time to really get me into the movie. There are some songs that just feel like they're there, or at least they just didn't really catch on to me. But maybe that's a musical preference thing as opposed to a plot preference thing. Anyway, before I get into my grade, again, if you haven't subscribed yet, do so now. Drop a like and let me know what is your favorite song in the Heights. I would say for me, Blackout is my favorite. So, In the Heights, it is a solid movie that did take time to get me into it. And if you're not into musicals, then you're not really going to enjoy watching this movie. But if you're into great cinematography, great choreography, brilliant set design, and just a very colourful, vibrant atmosphere in a story that sometimes you feel like it should be glum and down, but they always manage to keep the energy positive. It's a very difficult thing to execute, and the film does it really well. And yes, this is definitely a film that you should be keeping an eye on when it comes to award season towards the end of this year. Overall, I'm going to have to say that In the Heights, for me at least, is a good cup of tea. So, In the Heights, what did you think of it? Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. What is your favourite musical? Coming up next on the channel, I'll be looking at The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which I'm going to be reviewing this evening. Not expecting too much, but we shall see. But do make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell to catch that review when the time comes. But until next time, my name is Josh. I have been your movie apprentice, and I'll see you in the next one.